Okay, so this will be another video class pertains to the arrays as well. We will begin to focus with the arrays operation in this time. So make sure to really follow in each cases here because this is really crucial for you, and this is really important as this will be the operations for the arrays that you will begin to learn as you go through as well, and it will be applicable in your GUI system or into your GUI project. So the first I mean the we'll begin to deal with arrays, operations, and applications as well. Where can we apply this array? And yes, let's start with the traversal. I'm sorry. Traversal, when we say traversal, traversing means visiting each element in an array to perform an operation such as printing or modifying each item in the array. That means to say that it will help you to access and manipulate every element in the array, often used in loops to process or search data in arrays. So eventually, class, all of those specific, for example, let me write it here on my iPad, that we do have arrays that like 10, 20, 30, 40 that is inside in your array. So you will begin to visit or access each of the element, and you will begin to print that out everything. What will be those element in your array that is actually being accessed, and you will begin to print that out? That is actually the traversal. How does it work? Now, let me also illustrate that in a Java program, Java code. In a Java code, this is represented as here. So we're able to initialize as the integer the numbers. So this represents the your dimension. That is only one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your element. Your you will begin to start with I is equals to 0. So since that is being used with for loop, so we'll begin to print that out with I. The limitation is um less than the numbers that length. So then increment that one. So that means to say it will end until the last element of your array, and then it will print out each of the case each of the case I mean each of the element step one step in each other. And afterwards, you have to print out, you call the function of numbers I, and that will print out eventually one, from 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. So that is just a simply printing or traversing all of those specific elements in our array. Next, then, after the traversal, we also do have the insertion. Put into considerations that we do have a lot of insertion types. Inserting an element at a specific position in an array requires resizing the array and shifting elements to accommodate a new value. Because as what I've mentioned earlier, that in array, we will that is having a fixed size. So resizing is really necessary when adding a new element. So because in our array, we cannot actually we cannot deal with we cannot be going to insert that for example, you do have array size as 5. So array size as 5, then you wanted to insert, so you already do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you wanted to insert 6 in the last portion. So do you think that you can still insert? No, because the array that you do have, the limitation is is up until 5. So that means to say that inserting array is inserting array is actually shifting. It could be shifting elements if we're dealing with per index, or if you're inserting at the in the first place at the beginning, so you will begin shift that to we'll shift that into the next I mean next indexes. So you will begin to insert to those elements everything, and after that one, you will begin to um You will also need to, if you want to insert at the latter part, at the endpoint, so you have to also resize that one, but of course, just plus one. So let's actually deal with that accordingly. So how to represent that in our array. So we'll begin to do it in a step-by-step manner. Now let's actually proceed with in insertion class. We do have the types of insertion, which is we can insert at the beginning, at the end point, and at specific index and a given um, in our array. So insertion at the end by the from its word insertion at the end, so we can insert at the end point. So we have there the Java codes. So when we will begin to understand that one here, then this is the array that we do have. We're able to identify that we do have the numbers of array, which will be the 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. And then afterwards, you were able to also initialize or state that you will be going to create a new array which is having the numbers that length plus 1. So that means to say, the numbers that you do have here, you will begin to add another 1, so it will extend another value, another container. So that means to say, we can definitely add afterwards for that one. Now, in this case here, we copy elements from numbers to new array. So what will be the element for the numbers that you do have starting from 0? You will begin to paste that in the new array starting with 0 as well. Numbers that length. So that means to say, all of these numbers will be pasted in the new array container, and then afterwards, a new number, new array numbers that length, since we're able to plus that one, and there will be an addition of 40. So we were able to insert the element at the end point. So that is the 40 element. So that means to say, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at the end point of yours, of your array, it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40. Because in your case here, in your array, you were able to call here, print that out, erase that to string new array. So you were able to paste that here, then you were able to call the new container already. So it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 40. That's how is. Work work in our insertion at the end. So I hope so that it is clear for everybody. Now let's deal with the next insertion. The next insertion actually is at the beginning. So for insertion at the beginning, it is different because the new element is 40, element is added at the end of the array. So it is already stated earlier. So let's proceed with the insertion at the beginning point. The new element here then, let me also break it down for the sake of everybody. So we're able to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the numbers that you do have, the same thing. And you were also able to identify another new array, which is new int numbers that length, you will begin to add another one container. So that means to say, we'll begin to add another container for us to insert the new element later on. So we're able to identify here, insert element at the beginning. So new array, you mentioned that your new array will start at given index 0, and you will begin to insert the element as a 0 as well. So we will be going to copy the rest of the elements after the numbers from the numbers from 0, it will start in the numbers array. So what is 1, sir? Because it will be pasted in the given position since index man ang value ta 0, 1. So this is 1. So that means to say that I'm sorry, that your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be pasted in your new array container as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, 0 is pasted here in your index 0. So your new array will become 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once you will begin to print that out. I hope so that it is clear for everybody. That's how you will begin to organize that actually, class. That is really crucial for you because you have to learn that in a step-by-step manner as well. Make sure to really understand those functionalities, because in our class later, in a face-to-face manner, I will not be going to discuss that in a step by step already. We'll be going to go through with their we'll be going to go through with their quiz already. And I am also anticipating that you've already understand this video that I've actually created. And it's not my loss if you will not be going to study ahead of time. Okay. So since this today you don't have any class, so you're expected to learn about this. So since we are done with the insertion at the beginning, let's move on to the insertion at the specific index. So when we say specific index, there is a specific address that you will begin to insert the specific element. So here then, we're able to identify the numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And afterwards, you were able to initialize the index is equals to 2. And now you were able to, that is to indicate that we will be going to insert at index number 2 later on. And then afterwards, we're able to initialize the new array as well, which the new array numbers, that your numbers length, because this is 5 length, we will begin to add another one so that it will become 6 element in the latter part. Now, the same thing that we're able to copy element before the index. So copy the element starting from numbers 0. So the same thing that you're copying the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up until the length, new array will paste that into the new array, and then you have the index as well. So you copy elements before they index. So that's how it will be calculated. That's actually what how does it mean in this structures right now. Now, by inserting the new element, you will be going to insert the new element in the index, which will be at 2 exactly. And the element that you will begin to insert will be the 99. So afterwards, since we're not able to identify yet, we'll need to copy remaining elements after the index. So since we're not able to copy the elements yet, so we were able to identify another operation, which we will be going to copy the numbers first here, then the index that you've identified, which is the index 2, then the new array, and index plus 1, numbers that length, minus index, which this is the functions actually class that we are trying to copy the remaining elements after the index. So we were able to copy the old numbers. Afterwards, you were able to identify where we will be going to insert the specific index, and then you will be going to copy the new array after that one. So that's actually how does it work. Now, there is a numbers that length minus index, because of course you will be going to copy the remaining elements after the index only. So if the index is actually is at 2, so therefore you will copy in the new array, in your new array, which is starting from index plus 1. So that means to say that you will copy in your new array, which is starting plus 3, and so on. So that's how it works here. So the output in the new array will become 1, 2, 3, 99, 4, 5. I hope so that it is clear for everybody. That's how it works with insertion. So there is actually a need for the resizing of specific elements. So I hope so that it is clear for everybody. That is only for the insertion class. And we'll be going to walk through as well the another operation in the next video. I'll be going to deal with that one step at a time, so that you will be going to view the video one step at a time as well. So I hope so that this is really clear for everybody. And the next video will deal with array operation, which is pertains to deletion. Okay, goodbye.